Thank you for joining us. In our continuing series featuring outstanding people and places, today we are visiting Las Vegas, the world-famous major resort city, known for its spectacular entertainment and nightlife. It is the leading financial, commercial, and cultural center for Nevada, with fabulous hotels, conventions, shopping, fine dining, and gambling as well. More than 600,000 people live and work in this city, and to tell us more about this amazing city, we will be joined by Mayor Carolyn Goodman following these messages.
When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful, a miracle. Oh, it was beautiful, magical.
And then they showed me a world where I could be so dependable, oh, intellectual, cynical.
Find magic again. Sprout by HP. With Intel RealSense technology inside, now you can bend the rules of creativity outside.
Life Extension magazine brings you new discoveries in health and anti-aging. Our science-based research and supplements are so advanced they're many years ahead of the medical mainstream, with quality control standards that exceed FDA mandates. Life Extension has covered groundbreaking medical research for more than 35 years. For your health and future, you deserve the best. Learn more at lifeextension.com.
With us now is Mayor Carolyn Goodman. A real pleasure and honor to have you with us today.
Delighted to welcome you to City Hall in Las Vegas.
Lovely city, so exciting to be here really. A little hot today, but it's not a problem. And so exciting for you to run perhaps one of the most famous, if not the most famous city in the world.
Well, thank you for saying that. I happen to agree, as does my husband. The name Las Vegas conjures up just a great time, wonderful food, great shopping, of course gaming, but so much more. And so we're just thrilled you're here.
What are the plans you have for the future of Las Vegas at this time?
Well, you know, we've been coming out, like the rest of the world, out of the recession. And so as we've been doing that, I think our focus remains the same, which is largely economic development. But most importantly, number one for us always has been safety, the safety and security, not only of our residents, but of our tourists coming in, because last year we had 43 million tourists, which means about 350,000 visitors every week, and our stable resident populations are just under 2.2 million people. And so that's number one. But number two, following that for all of us, what do we think about after being safe? We think about health care. So it's another focus. We're opening our UNLV, University of Nevada, Las Vegas Medical School. And we will be we're creating a whole new, beautiful, architecturally designed, magnificent building that's going to be the starting hub of that medical school, which is close to downtown. And we have the Cleveland Clinic Lou Ruvo Institute for Brain Health already here on our Symphony Park next door to City Hall, which focuses on brain degenerative diseases, Alzheimer's, Parkinson, MS, and we have people coming in from around the world now for clinical assessment, and they stay here for several days, but it's really been a remarkable addition in the health field for us. And then going on beyond that, of course, is our cultural base. We're working on that, and we'll continue to do that. But during my husband's administration, and he was mayor for 12 years prior to now going into my 7th year, I can't believe it, all the plans were put in place, and then unfortunately the recession hit. And so the actual building and opening took place during my term. And we have a beautiful symphony park here with the Smith Center for Performing Arts, as magnificent, acoustically sound as you've ever seen. And then we have the Mob Museum, which speaks for itself. We have a World Market Center, which operates twice a year. It is joined with the, High Point, North Carolina Wholesale Furniture Mart, and sells to the entire country and world. That's twice a year, also located right here. And then I think we have the #1 outdoor mall in the country. The premium outlets are down here, so people who come to visit will go there. And then our last thing is the sports. And of course, education is so significant to us, but it's so significant to everybody in the entire country. And so those are the 5 major elements. We have other spin-offs, of course. We deal with the homeless population. We deal with those who really are out trying to live in a world where they have mental problems and they can't cope. And like the rest of the cities in this country, we haven't found the panacea yet there. So there's a lot on our plate, a lot of wonderful things happening. And having grown up in the heart of Manhattan, I can tell you it's the best place in the world to live, because no matter what your passion is, whether it's dance or art or photography in the art field or sculpting, whatever it is, anything that you want to do here, you not only can get involved in it, but it's important that you get involved in it to help us build that element. And as you know, we have Nellis and Creech, which is the premier Air Force training base here, and countries send in their Air Force personnel to learn the new equipment. And of course, then we're looking at the future and technology.
Well, technology is such an essential component of our civilization today, and research. I'm surprised to hear that medical research and so forth is quite prevalent here in Las Vegas. In fact, the Shalom Show's main sponsor happens to be Life Extension Foundation, and Bill Falloon has some offices right here in town for Life Extension. They sell vitamins and so forth and do research into the diseases of aging. He wanted me to give you this book, by the way.
Well,
Bill
that's
Falloon.
lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much.
You read a lot, I'm told. So,
well,
yeah.
And not only do my husband and I read constantly, but we have a son who does prostate cancer clinical and lab research. And he's an MD PhD, and the PhD is in partly in pharmacology, which is so critical today, because you know when something's wrong, you have so many doctors attending all those diseases, and each prescribe different medications, and it's how they work together. And of course, this little piece of equipment and everything to do with technology can bring everything together to one place so you can work the pieces. So I love this, and good health, and appreciate it, and please thank you very much.
Speaking about other topics now, Las Vegas as a multicultural city, have things changed over the years, or are they basically the same?
Absolutely. I mean, we are as diverse a city as New York City or Paris, London. We have a huge number of different nationalities, all religions, it's a melting pot. And certainly those, the gay, lesbian, transgender community is part of our community. We're a very embracing population. What we've seen, however, is the growth of our community has physically exploded. We've seen a huge growth in our support personnel nationalities, which means we have a large contingent coming in from Mexico. And in fact, our student population of Latino and Spanish-speaking children probably is over half, easily over half the population now in our elementary schools, and we'll hopefully continue to go through and do well in college. But every single population, every race, every culture, representatives from around the world are here.
This program we're on, The Shalom Show, obviously targets a Jewish and Christian audience, largely nationwide and elsewhere. And you happen to be Jewish. What's it like being a Jewish mayor of this exciting city?
Well, I don't think of it as being a Jewish mayor. I just think of it being very lucky to be living here and part of the growth of, and such a mixed population. Of course, I'm extremely proud of the heritage of the Jewish people, and have been proud to see our community of Jewish residents and investors and population grow. We came here in 1964. There were less than 100,000 people. relative newlyweds, and my husband grew up in the Philadelphia area. His father had come from an Orthodox background and his mom conservative. I had been brought up in, as I mentioned, in the heart of New York City. My mother's family was the name of Seligman, which were 7 brothers that came from Germany to the United States and went into banking. And there was a book called Our Crowd by Stephen Birmingham, which speaks to my grandfather, Edwin Robert Anderson Seligman. And then my father was the son of a physician, also Jewish, but I don't recall being in a temple or having any Jewish education until I was 14 years of age. I knew upon being asked, what are you? Are you, Catholic or LDS, what are you? I knew I was Jewish, but of course I was born in the Second World War. And I think my parents were just sort of trying to keep a hold of life as the world was in such turmoil and the loss of Jews so incredibly tragic and enormous. And I think there was a fear there. So I think what happened was my sister and I were sort of raised, be proud of who you are. But we didn't have any religious training. And actually it wasn't until I met my husband that who has a wonderful background in his religion, that I and us now with 4 children who had them, the boys bar mitzvahed, the daughter bat mitzvahed, and now we're into the next generation with little people. So it's been very interesting because as we see life, I learned so much from him. As to the faith. But we've had, Shimon Peres has been in our home. I mean, we've had different people come through here. And then my uncle was very involved with Foreign Policy Association going back in the 40s and 50s.
Well, Mayor, keeping the flame of heritage burning and maintaining knowledge of things and values that we feel are essential is so very commendable, and I want to thank you very, very much for being with us here today.
Thank
a real
you
pleasure
so much, Richard.
and an
So
honor.
nice. I'm thrilled to meet you.
Thank you. While visiting Las Vegas, we stayed at the Westgate Resort. And as if our suite wasn't luxurious enough, we went up to the top floor and saw the suite where Elvis Presley and other superstars have been residing in the past. It is absolutely incredible. With us now is Gordon Prouty, Vice President of this fabulous hotel. Tell us about the history of this amazing establishment. We went up to Elvis Presley's suite. It was incredible.
Oh, well, yes. It's actually this year is the year we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the property. So it was opened in July of 2019 as the International, and when it opened, it really set the tone for what a resort casino and a resort hotel would be. At that time, it was the tallest building in Nevada and the largest hotel in the world. It opened to great fanfare. Barbra Streisand actually opened the property. Everybody talks about the house that Elvis built, but Barbara opened it up. Elvis's first show was in July 31st of 2019. Since that time, a couple years in, Las Vegas Hilton, it became the Las Vegas Hilton, and that's, as it was the Las Vegas Hilton is when, you know, a lot of the legends were made with the entertainers that were here, the conventions that were here. There were fights. Muhammad Ali actually fought in the Pavilion Center. So there's a ton of history here. We like to say that it's been the home of the legends of Vegas. And anybody who was anybody actually performed, played, and stayed here. In 2014, Westgate Resort's David Siegel took over the property. There were many people that said he should tear it down and start over. And in fact, many of the suitors, that's what they had in mind. But David had actually been and stayed on this property when his parents would come to visit. And he likes to tell the story that when he first came here, he couldn't afford a room, so he stayed in with his parents. But he knew that if they were to tear this down and start over, 2,000 team members would lose their jobs. So his commitment has been to renovate and bring it back to its glory days. And in those 5 years, they've invested over $275 million in ongoing renovations that you've probably gotten the opportunity to experience while you're here. You talked about the Elvis Suite, the Sky Villas. There are 3 of those, 15,000 square feet each. And the Verona itself is the largest. The Tuscany is actually where the Elvis penthouse, the Elvis Suite, was a part of what Tuscany is today. At that time, it was a 5,000 square foot suite, which was unheard of at that time. Now it's nearly 15,000 square feet, but there's been a ton of history here.
Absolutely fabulous. We toured one of the suites, at least at the Verona, and it was just something I've never seen before. $40,000 a night.
Yes, and the Verona is actually the largest in the country. And there's weddings that are there. There've been filmings there. They probably told you that the film Behind the Candelabra was filmed up in the Verona suite. They felt that was more reminiscent of what Liberace's mansion would have been. So, but they are beautiful. When the property first opened, and then they did have the Elvis Suite, there was a supper club up there called the Crown Room. And it was the first rooftop nightclub of its kind in Las Vegas. But now there are the 3 Sky Villas that were put up there, and they are quite spectacular.
All quite fascinating. And I'd like to ask you to share with our audience a little of the current history, the state of affairs, tourism-wise, in Las Vegas.
You know, tourism is strong. There are the peaks and valleys during the year. You know, this hotel does really well with conventions and groups. Obviously, our proximity to Las Vegas Convention Center is fantastic there. But we have 225,000 square feet of customizable space here, so we house a lot of conventions here as well. The history, obviously, is a big draw for us. But Las Vegas continues to bring in record numbers of visitors. You keep hearing about the numbers at McCarran Airport about setting new records. It's competitive. You know, in this neighborhood, there will be 2 more properties opening in the next 2 years, with the Drew Las Vegas and Resorts World opening up. But we continue to differentiate ourselves by providing the best customer experience and guest experience that we can. And we celebrate the history while we renovate to become newer and newer.
Have fluctuations in the economy affected tourism to Las Vegas at all?
You know, back in the downturn in 2008, it was pretty devastating for everyone, and it definitely had an impact on Las Vegas. So there can be times when there's downturns, but you know, the convention business, we're expecting a strong year next year. Again, as I say, there are seasonal times like that, but overall, Las Vegas is doing pretty well, and we're optimistic. October is always a really strong month for us, and we're celebrating a good month there, and we look to do really well through the rest of the year, and then with the first of the year. Once we kick into January and you have things like CES and large conventions like that, it'll be quite busy here. And we're excited about professional sports. As you know, the Vegas Golden Knights are now in their 3rd season here, and the Raiders will become the Las Vegas Raiders in 2020. And so that's going to be doing a lot for us with getting professional sports, and a new 60,000 seat dome stadium will also draw some new benefits to the city as well.
Now, you've been involved with public relations forever. Share with our audience, what is the significance, what is the importance of public relations in our business world, in yours and in general?
You know, most of my background was as a publisher and in the media world, so I was kind of on the other side of the desk. But the importance, you know, from a property standpoint is making sure that we're telling the story of this property. It's a very competitive marketplace here in Las Vegas, and you have to find different things that will get the attention of media and get the attention of potential guests and conventions. And with the history of this property, there are a lot of things to talk about in team members and entertainers and restaurants and the convention space. So it's important that we get the word out there. But it's also important that we continue as a group here in Las Vegas to get the word about that this is, you know, the world's most exciting destination. But beyond the amenities and the things you have at the property, what's exciting about this particular property is telling the story of some of the team members. We have I believe we have 52 team members who have worked here on this property for more than 40 years. We have one team member who's been here since the doors opened, and he's one of the ushers down in the cabaret, and he can tell you stories about working with shows when Elvis was here and Barbra Streisand was here and Liberace was here. And you've got another team members. I think we're at about 30% of our team members have been here 30 years or more. So you've got people who, some of the conventions and some of the visitors that come back year after year, they look for the team members that are family to them. So in addition to the traditional PR pieces about the restaurants, the entertainment, the property itself, we like to tell the story of our team members.
How dependent is a big resort, an immense resort like this, on corporate clients?
You know, we're dependent on all our clients, but particularly here, groups, convention sales, that type of thing are very important to us. But when you say corporate client, that is, you know, I think always people, when they think of the conventions, they think of a traditional, you know, large business like a CES or a SEMA or some different professional organizations. But we also get a lot of groups that are around events. The event that you're here now is
right. Yes, Life Extension is our main sponsor, in fact.
Right. And you know, events like that are always important. But we also do competitions. We've in this past year had an international weightlifting competition. We've hosted a jiu-jitsu competition. We've hosted dance competitions. I believe there's a steppers convention going on right now, along with Life Extension. There's also we've had the American Pool Players Association, the largest pool tournament in the world, where 14,000 pool players come. And again, so that is very important to us because they rent convention space, they take out rooms, they visit the restaurants, they go to the casinos, they go to the shows. But I think when you talk about corporate client, that can vary by what it can be. We are home to many different types of events.
I want to thank you so very much for being with us here today.
My pleasure. Thank you for being with us.
And for the hospitality. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
I'll be right back.
The Jewish Federation pulls Jews across the community together. That's its purpose. It's a federation.
I've always viewed them as a way of bringing the community together, to give us strength, to give us leadership and guidance, and also to affect change both in the secular and religious communities.
They have all the organizations that are in town. They try to be the umbrella organization and more or less telling to the people, tell us where is it that you feel we need to put our emphasis, our dollars, what is it that's needed. They do various studies, they meet with the leadership to see where we get most mitzvah for our dollar.
We are the connection for the Jewish community of Las Vegas to Israel and also to 50 to 60 countries around the world. The Federation enables Jews here in Las Vegas to truly be responsible for Jews no matter where they live across the globe.
You think you really can do everything by yourself. And again, many actually can. But that's not why we're here, right? We're here to make it happen for everyone. And the Federation is what gives us not only that aura, but that intent of coming together with one purpose.
I can give $5,000 a year, and it'll go into a pail, and it might help 5 people. But I can give $5,000 a year to Federation, and I'm helping hundreds of thousands of people.
As I go back and think about it, it was a great part of my life. We had wonderful experiences and met wonderful people from all over the world.
There are only 100,000 people overall, and we came here again from the East Coast, so it was sort of barren here. There was nothing as far as the eye could see except rolling sagebrush, a couple of buildings, and then a scattered number of hotels, nothing over 5 stories, I don't think.
It would have been approximately 1966 My husband and I together were invited to become members of the board and then the Combined Jewish Appeal. We both enjoyed it and we both felt that we were sincerely contributing something to the Jewish community here in Las Vegas.
I had to find a place where I would feel comfortable. I was called to the Federation to help out with some of the things, and I thought, well, this would be something that would be a challenge that I would really like to do.
There was a lot of vision 50 years ago to say we need this apparatus in this community.
Every time we turned around, there was a different group from out of town coming in, Jewish group, to raise money. And so we decided to do a combined Jewish appeal. And it eventually turned into the Jewish Federation of Las Vegas.
I joined when it was United Jewish Appeal, and they helped start many a synagogue, and they've helped start many of the Jewish programs that we have today. United Jewish Appeal takes care of the community, and so does Jewish Federation take care of the community.
We suddenly saw a bigger picture, plus the fact our community was starting to grow. And slowly but surely, we worked our way up to build a very strong federation that was respected all over.
The women's division was about an exceptional group of women working together in the same room.
Women's philanthropy spoke to me with respect to wanting to make sure we're here tomorrow.
It was really getting to know the other women, and of course them being part of the larger body as well.
The Women Philanthropy Outreach are amazing. I think it's nice that you have fun and you have fundraising.
I was proud of the women that we brought into the women's philanthropy, who we educated so they understand why they're giving, and who gave generously.
Helping makes me feel great that we're raising that money to help. I know what the Jewish Federation would do with the money. That's what makes me feel so good.
We not only had a good time having our fundraisers, having our meetings, and doing nice things, but we did a lot of good in the world.
We all had a simple goal, the betterment of the community. And we invested our time and our efforts into trying to make the Jewish community something that we were all proud of.
Human age reversal. We may be there already. Human studies are now ready to begin to confirm meaningful reversal of pathological aging processes. These clinical trials aim to alter older humans so that they function as much younger individuals. Even modest success will result in a paradigm shift that will impart enormous societal benefits, such as sparing Medicare from insolvency. Life extension is not standing idle while 5,000 Americans die each day from age-related illnesses. Joining us are physician scientists who want to hurry up these technologies to keep people from aging to death. While life extension is pushing these projects forward, we need financial help to ensure these studies are carried through to fruition.
This brings us to the end of our show for today. I'm Maya Brandt. Thank you for being with us.